story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalapeh. Our top stories tonight. Chadian President Idris Deby meets Jonathan. Buhari denies knowledge of Shekau's whereabouts. Also in this program, Transition Committee of the Federal Government meets with that of the incoming administration. Senate wants state assembly lawmakers to stop acting like puppets to state governors. Outside Algeria, Libya criticizes new European Union proposals to use force against people smugglers in the Mediterranean Sea. Thank you for joining us tonight. Chad is to intensify efforts and work closely with Nigeria to end the Boko Haram insurgency when President-elect Muhammadu Buhari assumes office. Chadian President Idris Deby made this pledge when he paid a courtesy call at the incoming president in Abuja. Deby, who spoke through an interpreter, maintained that with a much stronger bilateral relationship between the two countries, Boko Haram will be wiped out.
Comme vous savez, la relation entre le Tchad et le Nigeria, ce sont deux pays frères.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President is saying that this visit today in Abuja, Nigeria, aims at coming to congratulate the Nigerian people and leaders of achieving one of the greatest elections ever seen in Africa. And as you said, Mr. President is emphasizing the fact that Nigeria and Chad are two countries with one people. We have many things in common, many destiny. We have a long tradition, a long history together. And in this sense, the visit here to meeting with President-elect.
Our main preoccupation in that region is the question of Boko Haram. And we have known how Chad, Nigeria, and Cameroon have been helping Nigeria to secure the border. And we know what effect it has on commerce and industries. Some of the bridges were blown, some of the infrastructure again is destroyed. So these are the priorities we have discussed, and God willing, when the government gets in place, we will again sit and make sure we have a comprehensive review of the situation in that area and how it affects our people.
Meanwhile, the Chadian President Idris Deby had earlier said he did not know the whereabouts of the Boko Haram leader, Abubakar Shekau. He also argued that Chadian and Nigerian troops will have fared better in the war against insurgency with better cooperation. President Deby spoke to journalists at the presidential villa after a closed-door meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan.
Premier point concernant Abubakar Shekau,
faut le soutenir dans le cadre de l'ensemble des opérations que nous avions menées.
Mr. President said he has no information concerning mercenaries from South Africa. On the issue of Saqqara, he said it's regrettable that the two armies, that the Nigerian army and the Chadian army, were working separately on the field. They were not undertaking joint operations. That if they have been able to operate joint operations, probably they will have achieved more results. And he cannot tell you today that he knows where Saqqara is hiding. And even if he knows, he won't tell you that he knows that.
President Goodluck Jonathan's aides on Monday walked out a journalist from the presidential villa in Abuja in what could be a new style of intimidating newsmen. The first victim is Omalapeh Musa, the State House correspondent of German radio Deutsche Welle. Musa's accreditation tag was withdrawn by security operatives attached to the presidential villa in Abuja for asking visiting Chadian President Idris Deby a question authorities found to be embarrassing. Musa had asked the visiting president to explain the relationship between the multinational task force fighting in Lake Chad and the South African mercenaries fighting with them. Deby simply responded that he had no information concerning machineries from South Africa shortly after the visiting president left. Musa was invited by security operatives and his tag was withdrawn. Security operatives thereafter drove him in a vehicle out of the forecourt of the president's office through the service chief's gate. When he told the operatives that some of his work tools were still inside the press gallery where journalists operate from, the operatives led him to the hall to retrieve his belongings and led him out of the villa again. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ruben Abati, was said to have assured a delegation of State House correspondents who met him on the matter that the issue will be resolved appropriately. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered that prosecution witnesses slated to testify in trial of Aminu Uche, the alleged mastermind of the Nyanya bus terminal bombing, to be shielded from public view. It also says the trial proper is to begin on May 12th. The order of court followed an application by the prosecution counsel Mohammed Diri that the witnesses be shielded with tinted screen to protect their identity. Defense counsel Ahmed Araji and 5 other counsel for the party opposed the motion and urged the court to dismiss the application. A trial judge, Justice Ahmed Mohammed, in a short ruling granted the prosecution's request. He, however, ordered that defense counsel and the accused person should be allowed to cite the prosecution witnesses.
There can be a kind of a shield so that only lawyers can see the prosecution witnesses. We felt the earlier order granted is enough, but His Lordship felt otherwise, which is okay by us. And but all we are open for is for them to come and start the prosecution, because that is tomorrow, because the matter is adjourned to tomorrow. But it looks like the prosecution is not ready to kickstart this case for reasons best known to them.
The Nigerian military says it has no hand in the attacks on some villages in Wase local government area of Plateau State in north-central Nigeria. Controversy surrounding the incident that claimed yet to be identified number of casualties is attracting the attention of the Plateau State House of Assembly and concerned citizens in the state. While addressing protesters at the State House of Assembly premises, the Speaker, Titus Ayuba Alams, promised that the incident will be thoroughly investigated for onward presentation to the National Assembly for deliberations. Accusations and counter-accusations have continued as Tarok people are alleging that the attacks were plans to wipe out their people. Amidst all of these accusations, the Special Task Force, through its spokesman Ikedici Iweha, explained that the military had no hand in the attacks and is only involved in maintaining law and order according to the mandate. Meanwhile, the people of Kadarko and other affected villages have continued to count their losses. And away from that now, the head of the Transition Committee for the incoming government has denied suggestion of a rift with the government team led by Vice President Namadi Sambo. Ahmed Jorda told State House correspondent after a meeting at the presidential villa that the two sides have been working as a team. He insisted that there was no time his committee complained about non-cooperation from the government side.
It was very cordial. There is certainly no issue. We are flowing and we have a clearer understanding of the workings of the two committees.
Our committee has never said to anybody that there is no cooperation. We have never said that. And we are waiting for the reports for when they come.
Following a statement credited to President Goodluck Jonathan on Sunday, the All Progressives Congress insists the incoming administration of Muhammadu Buhari will not persecute anyone contrary to the outgoing president's statement. Jonathan had urged his ministers and aides to prepare for hard times as he expects them to be persecuted, but APC has said that only the guilty need to be afraid. In a statement issued by the National Publicity Secretary of APC, La Mohammed in Abuja, the APC insists that only those who had played poker with the nation's destiny must be willing and eager to clear their conscience before man and God. The statement reads, however, the hands of the incoming government will not be tied by those who have chosen to play the victim and exhibit a persecution mentality. Whoever has any reason to be afraid must lay bare such reason before Nigerians. The APC insists that under the climate of change that Nigerians had ushered in with their votes, only the guilty needs to be afraid, and those with a guilty conscience on account of their actions in the public sphere must clear such so they can be at peace with themselves. End of quote. The party reiterated that the priority of the incoming government would be the welfare and security of the long-suffering people of Nigeria, and enjoined all citizens to support the administration in charting a new path for the country, away from the pressures and impunity of the past years. And Enugu Federal High Court has ordered the police to reopen the Enugu State House of Assembly complex, which has been on the log since some lawmakers moved to impeach Governor Sullivan Chime. The house was thrown into crisis after the development as about 7 lawmakers who were opposed to the planned impeachment suspended the Speaker, Ujena Odo, and elected Chinedu Nwamba in his place. But Odo is insisting that he is still in charge of the legislative body, even though the leadership of the People's Democratic Party in the state had already congratulated Nwaba on his emergence as the Speaker. Nwaba was also received by Chime at the government house, a development which prompted Odo to accuse Governor of prompting illegality. Odo had headed for the court to challenge the development, including the closure of the State Assembly by the police. In an interim order made in the suit, the court, presided over by Justice Dorcas Agishi, ordered the police to reopen the assembly. The team of policemen deployed at the gate were equally ordered to leave. This is CoreTV Primetime News. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Do join us again.
Introducing Smart Connect, we get plenty awoof to allow you talk, text, and browse nyafu for tin in the money.
Igwe. Say you know say with just 200 naira recharge card, Airtel they summer me with 200% bonus to yarn more with any network.
Now you not call me your fiance.
Relax. In fact, I don't buy your own address every day.
As correct vessel, anytime I recharge 200 naira and above, Smart Connect they suffer me with free internet to browse.
If you want to make your family follow you enjoy, buy your 4-in-1 family pack for the price of one.
Oh baby. This girl too, na family and friends.
No carry last to buy your Airtel SIM today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
This is CoreTV Primetime News live from our Lagos studios. If you just join us, a quick reminder of our top stories. Chadian President Idris Deby meets Jonathan Buhari, denies knowledge of Shekau's whereabouts. Transition Committee of the federal government meet with that of the incoming administration. And the Senate wants State Assembly lawmakers to stop acting like puppets to state governors. All our top stories can be found on our social media platforms, like our Facebook page is facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also, as well, follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV. Give your space the news. And now the National Assembly is not impressed with the performance of state assemblies in the last 16 years of Nigeria's democracy. It also advised state legislators to remain or refrain from abusing the impeachment powers vested upon them by the 1999 Constitution. Senate President David Mark said these are the opening of a week-long induction program for newly elected state lawmakers in Abuja. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Rules and Business, Ita Enang, also expressed a similar sentiment as guest speaker.
So House of Assembly, go. And sometimes they line out magistrates and judges and call them and hand over key of Camry or Kia to judges. It's wrong. And you are responsible. Stand up and protect the judiciary. Therefore, if you don't protect, you will always say that they are standing for them. I apologize, but this is wrong. It is wrong. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. And we have done it in the national, in the federal. You cannot, we don't interfere how the judiciary does their money. When it goes to the Chief Registrar and the Chief Justice of the Federation. It is administered through the National Judicial Council. Otherwise, you'll see the judiciary can be independent at that stage. And the money of the judiciary in many states are used in doing other things, so that judiciary can't even pay salary with their own money. So you have to stand up, otherwise you'll still say that they're saving the executive.
And former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali Umar Naba, says Nigerians should be more concerned about the competence of the next leadership of the National Assembly than their zones of origin. He said this on the sidelines of the opening of the one-week induction course for newly elected member of all 36 state houses of assembly. Naba is, however, convinced that the All Progressives Congress will put forward credible men for the positions of Senate President and Speaker of House of Representatives.
Well, yeah, you will agree with me that the APC has just taken over the federal government. Before this time, the APC has never run the federal government. Therefore, it is going to be foolhardy for us to expect that these things are going to be easy. And more so that with the configuration of the party and the zonal arrangements and so on and so forth, these are things that must definitely be teething for the party. But I think it's worth it that these things are considered carefully so that mistakes are not committed. Nigerians must not be in a hurry to know where their next speaker or Senate president is coming from. What is important is for us to have individuals who would occupy these positions that are well qualified and that will also provide a sense of balance to the Federation.
And now the Ekiti State Electoral Tribunal has made its inaugural sitting. The panel, led by Justice A.N. Eraho, will be taking 6 petitions, with 3 challenging 2 senatorial districts and the other 3 for 3 House of Assembly seats. The PDP and the APC expressed their confidence to reemerge victorious at the close of the tribunal. Our correspondent Rashid has details from Ado Ekiti.
Security operatives at the court premises says much about the importance of what is going on. It is the inaugural sitting of the Election Petition Tribunal hearing the contentious issues emanating from the March 28 and April 11 National Assembly and State House of Assembly elections respectively. Being the inaugural sitting, the overseers of the process gave the modus operandi of tribunal in its maiden speech from the panel's chairman to the State Attorney General.
Determined to carry out our statutory responsibilities at this tribunal without fear of favor, affection, or ill will. We shall, by the grace of God, be dispassionate, impartial, conscientious, and courageous in the performance of judicial duties at this tribunal.
We want to assure you that Ekiti State is peaceful enough and guarantees your safety here.
Answers to the petitioners and respondents expressed optimism over the sitting, while political parties said they are prepared for the cases.
Whether the person that was returned was not right to be returned, or whether the person that was returned was not qualified at the time he conducted the election. And those are the two basic reasons why the 5 petitions I am participating in were filed.
Naturally, when a matter is served, the law is very clear. We have the number of days during which we are to respond, and we are working in line with that.
We are prepared, and we believe that the irregularities that we challenged in the election of, in the senatorial election in Ekiti Central as we challenged, will be adequately addressed.
The APC candidate for Ekiti Central, Gbenga Olofin, is challenging the victory of Fatimat Rajarasaki of the PDP, while Tony Adeniyi challenges the victory of PDP's Abiodun Olujimi at Ekiti South Senatorial District. The tribunal has 180 days to conclude its sitting. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Enugu State, OK Ezia, has denied allegations that he'll embezzled about 400 million naira meant for the campaign of President-elect Muhammadu Buhari in the state. The alleged embezzlement has been cited as one of the reasons behind the party's poor outing in the 2015 general elections in Enugu State. The allegation has also led to a major crisis in the Enugu State chapter of the APC. But refuting the allegations, Ezia has forwarded a financial report which detailed how funds made available to him for the campaigns were disbursed to the national chairman of the party, Odigi Oyegun. Ezia made copies of the report available to journalists in his campaign office in Enugu. According to him, only a total sum of 133 million naira from the APC was handled by his campaign organization before, during, and after the post. The governorship candidate, who admitted that political parties do not disclose the money they spend on campaigns to the public, said he decided on the action because of the allegations being leveled against him. And the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party seems to have extended to its Lagos State chapter as news filtered in the early hours of Monday of the sack of Tunji Shele by 34 members of the State Working Committee. It was immediately replaced by the current Secretary Wahab Owokuniro. The committee accused Shele of mismanaging election campaign funds and manipulating the party's primaries last year, which ultimately led to the defeat of the PDP at the polls. CoreTV News crew was at the party secretariat, which was under lock with the presence of security operatives. Journalists would gather that the secretariat were dispersed after some time as there was no one to react to the news. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Gani Taufik, says Tunji Shele remains the chairman of the party in Lagos. In a statement released in Lagos, Gani says Shele-led executives have given the party its best results in Lagos and wondered why anybody will want to remove him. He added that the purported removal is of no effect and urged people to disregard as action, he said, is laughable. The Kwara State Governor Abu Fatah Ahmed has dissolved the State Executive Council. According to a statement credited to the Secretary to the State Government, Shola Gold, those affected by the dissolution include commissioners, special advisors, senior special assistants, liaison officers, and youth employment coordinators. He also revealed that all boards of government-owned companies, commissions, parastatals, and organizations other than those of statutory status were also dissolved. Gold says all commissioners are advised to hand over government properties in their custody to the permanent secretaries, while heads of other MDAs must hand over to the most senior officers in their establishment. Governor Abdul Fattah expressed his appreciation to all affected political office holders for their immeasurable contributions to the success of his administration in the last 4 years and wishes them success in their future endeavors. And our Speaker of the National Assembly, Aminu Tambuwal, has been honored with a chieftaincy title by His Royal Highness Onoje of Ikpoji at his palace in Esan West Local Government Area of Edo State. The title, Onosejele of Okpoji, meaning God sent, was bestowed on Aminu Tambuwal by His Royal Highness the Odonoje Ehiademen of Ikpoji Kingdom for being a man of uncommon character and exemplary leadership style in face of challenges. Our Edo State correspondent has more in this report.
Just few days to the May 29 handover date, Speaker of the House of Assembly and Sokoto State Governor-elect Aminu Tambuwal has already begun enjoying goodwill of Nigerians across the country. He was recently honored with a traditional title by the Onoje of Okpoji in Esan local government of the Edo State. The monarch assured Tambuwal of the Okpoji Kingdom's support in every sphere of life, as he has now become the son of the land. The Speaker, Aminu Tambuwal, who flew in Benin Airport and has barely few days to assume his new position as Governor of Sokoto State, having won the last governorship election, expresses his appreciation for the gesture and the honor, saying he would live to cherish it and the rich cultural heritage of the land.
You appreciate the title given to you by Okpoji people, and how ready you are to defend it. You are our son. We will not fail to defend you with any instrument at our disposal.
In appreciation of the honor, Tambuwal thanked the people of Okpoji and prayed God to keep the Royal Highness, while assuring him that as soon as the APC-led administration comes on board, justice will be done to everyone irrespective of tribes, religion and party affiliation.
I received several of their messages when we were going through the travails that we had to pass through in the National Assembly, and particularly the House of Representatives.
The Speaker was accompanied by Patrick Iriele, a member representing that constituency among all the notable personalities who graced the occasion at the Palace of the Onoje.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Fashola has emphasized the role of adequate database for the citizenry in the effort of government at providing dividends of democracy in the country. Fashola made the assertion after collecting his national identity card from the Director General of the National Identity Management Commission, Chris Onyemena, as the State House Ikeja. Fashola insists the initiative will assist government in proper planning. For his part, Chris Onyemena explained that aside serving as a national identity card, the card could also be used for financial transactions.
If this had been done successfully, it will have eliminated or substantially reduced the pressures that we all put ourselves through in trying to get PVC to vote. Because this will have been your identity, and so many parameters of our features, age, and all of that would have been in it, and date of birth, so we will know who is eligible to vote and who is not eligible to vote.
That's why it's a multi-purpose card. Aside from the fact that it's a KYC card, or know who you are dealing with, it also provides a payment platform, and therefore potentially enables the citizenry to deal in the formal financial system because there's a prepaid card.
Meanwhile, Lagos State Governor Babajide Fashola has warned landowners in the state against selling lands acquired by government for developmental purposes. Fashola gave this warning while distributing certificate of occupancy to representatives of 40 villages and families whose applications for land section was approved by the state government. Fashola also enjoined them to comply with approved government plans in process of selling or developing the excised lands.
Some of it by this process now is that some people, after collecting the excision, come back and say it's not enough. Or after taking the excision, now jump onto government land. That must stop. So that is the reason why we are doing this in the open.
The National Population Commission has announced the commencement of the 2015 National Education Data Survey from May 11 to August 14. The survey, like the National Demographic Health Survey, takes place every 5 years and is the third in a series that will be conducted in Nigeria by the Commission. The previous ones were conducted in 2004 and 2010. The NPC chairman Eze Duru Ihioma, in an address read by the Ekiti State Director Adeni Fadairo in Ado-Ekiti, says the survey was designed to generate information on the educational status of the Nigerian population. According to him, it is the household that took part in the 2013 NDHS that will be eligible for the 2015 NEDs. In that survey, approximately 38,522 households were successfully interviewed, and the goal is to perform a follow-up net with a subset of the original sample. Promising that the information will be treated with absolute confidentiality, the NPC boss urged the respondents to be patient and provide truthful answers to interviewers. The Nigerian Society of Engineers has urged the federal government to pay more attention to agriculture, saying the sector could generate 1 million jobs in 1 month. The NSC President Isaac Olorunfemi made the remark when he led a team of facility tour of the Faculty of Engineering of the Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti. According to him, the standard of facilities and the faculty, instructional aids and the lecturers on the ground is a template for other universities in the country to follow. Olorunfemi said the institution could serve as the industrial hub of Ekiti State by liaising with relevant industry within and outside the country to make maximal use of the training equipment. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break now. We'll be back with business, sports, and other stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Every day of the week will bring to you divergent views on news making the headline.
If people who commit crime are being rewarded with national honors, with national appointments, then where are we going in this country?
It's not about whether it was Jonathan or whether you are going to have a Buhari. It's the kind of political structure we run.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
We are talking about a Buhari who at 41 became head of state. The man did not exhibit the attribute of somebody that is strong intellectually.
So, comrade, you're saying if you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada?
Of course.
You will bring back the market women on the streets?
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
On Core Digest, we bring all of this to the court of public opinion, where you are the judge.
In business now, President-elect Muhammadu Buhari on Sunday in Abuja said he will shift attention from oil to agricultural and mining sectors to create jobs. Buhari said this while receiving Northern elders led by Nigeria's permanent representative at the United Nations, Alhaji Maitama Sule. He said he will address the problem of unemployment as it was one of the biggest challenges facing the nation. The president-elect said that for his administration to enjoy relative peace, security and job creation and put infrastructural facilities in place, the power sector must be given serious attention. The Treasury bills market enjoyed by sentiment from investors on Monday as the rate averagely declined by 0.37% 0.8% across tenors. The sentiment was greater for the shorter-term instrument as the one-month instrument tenor rate declined by 1.36%, while the 6-month tenor jacked up with an increase in rate of 0.20%. Meanwhile, mixed sentiments witnessed in the bond market as the yield across both benchmark and off-the-run bonds closed at an average offer yield of 13.99% and 15.17% accordingly. And to the interbank market now, starting the week with a lower market liquidity of minus 2.272% rate across both the Nigeria interbank offer rate and money market inched higher. The overnight borrowing went up by 0.58% to close at 9.88%, while 1 month borrowing also went up by 0.34% to settle at 13.50%. A 3-month and 6-month tenors also went up by 0.41 and 0.21%. Naira started the week on the weaker side, dropping by 0.30% to peg the value against the dollar at a mid price of 198 Naira 15 kobo. Analysts believe this could be a pull from the mounting pressure at the parallel market, which closed the previous week at 222 Naira to a dollar as demand continued to outweigh supply. Well, let's now join Savannah Izoku for stock market report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Savannah Izoku. The equities market on the floor, the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today as the Nigerian All Shares Index depreciated by 0.13% to close at 34,342.07 basis points. The market capitalization declined to close at 11.66 trillion naira. In all, the total volume of 207.3 million units of shares, valued at 2.3 billion naira, were exchanged in 3,907 deals. And on the gainer side, Nigerian Breweries topped the chart, followed by Flour Mill, Cadbury, Julius Berger, and National Salt Company of Nigeria. And on the flip side, Guinness topped the chart, followed by 40 Oil, Eco International Incorporation, International Breweries, and Zenith Bank. For the top trade side, Zenith Bank topped the chart, followed by CNI Leasing, Trendscore, First Bank Nigerian Holdings, and Unity Bank. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today. I am Savannah Izoku.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Thank you, Savannah Izoku. And in sports now, the Flying Eagles training camp in Nürnberg, Germany, babbled Monday morning with the arrival of Genk central defender Wilfred Ndidi. They arrived at the team's Novena hotel to meet the Flying Eagles at the breakfast stable. This was after a 6-hour road trip with his foster father in Belgium on the steering wheels. Ndidi 18 himself said he's delighted to reunite with the team after his Belgian club Genk blocked him from the recent African Youth Championship in Senegal. On Saturday, he played the full 90 minutes as Genk won 3-2 at Zulte Waregem. He played the first half as a left back and the second half as a right back. He gave away a dozen pair of brand new boots and Genk jerseys to the team. The forthcoming Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand will be his second after he also featured at the 2013 tournament in Turkey. And our Flying Eagles keeper Musa Mohammed has said his side have all it takes to emerge as world champions at the 2015 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand. The 2015 African Youth Championship top scorer is assured that the depth of quality in the squad as well as hard work will give his side the upper hand when the competition starts on May 31. With less than 7 days to the announcement of the final squad by Manu Garba and his technical crew, he divulged that the tension is very high in camp as everyone is working hard to make the final call. Nigeria's first game is against 6-time world champions Brazil on June 1 before facing Hungary and North Korea, and Mohammed opined that no team will be taken for granted. And now the Match Commissioners Appointment Committee of Nigeria Football Federation has released a list of match commissioners for the round of 64 matches of this year's Federation Cup competition. A total of 34 matches, including the 32 matches of the round of 64 of the men's competition and the 2 matches of the first round of the women's competition, will be played between Wednesday and Thursday this week to trim the field. There will be 24 matches on Wednesday and 10 on Thursday. And our Bayern Munich boss Pep Guardiola says he will still be at the club next season, despite reported interest from Manchester City. Guardiola was asked about his future at the pre-match news conference for Tuesday Champions League semi-final second leg against Barcelona. City boss Manuel Pellegrini could be under pressure as his side lost their Premier League title to Chelsea this season. Newspaper report on Sunday morning claimed that Guardiola, who is on his second season in charge at Bayern, had reached a verbal agreement to manage them next term. He has won a domestic league title in 5 of his 6 seasons as a manager, 3 with Barcelona and 2 with Bayern. This is also his 5th season managing in the Champions League semi-finals. And Andy Murray claimed his first victory over Rafael Nadal on clay to win the Madrid Masters on Sunday evening. The Briton had never beaten Nadal in 6 previous meetings on the surface, but won 6-3, 6-2 to stun the home crowd. Defending champions, Nadal was aiming for a record 5th win in Madrid, but Murray outclassed his Spanish opponent to lift his first Masters title on clay. The 27-year-old, who won his first clay court title in Munich on Monday, has now secured 2 under a week.
Are unexpected. It tends to, it feels nicer. I didn't feel like I put too much pressure on myself the last couple of weeks, which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously to win a Masters series on clay for me is a step in the right direction. It's something I've never done before, so that's good progress there. And yeah, obviously to win against Rafa on clay in a final in Spain is an extremely difficult thing to do, and I'm proud that I've managed to do that.
Andy's playing well, and you cannot pretend to win against a player like Andy playing the way that I play today. That's it. That's simple, no, and accept that today was not the right day for me, and congratulate Andy because he's playing great, winning last week in Munich, winning here now, Masters 1000, I think for the first time in his career on clay. He's having a great season, playing well in the most important tournaments of the year, and he's ready to compete for everything.
And Red Bull says they will pull out of Formula One if either they cannot get a competitive engine or Audi do not join forces with the team. Red Bull are frustrated with the partner Renault's failure to master the hybrid engines introduced into Formula One last year. Motorsport advisor Hemant Marco said Red Bull were interested in doing a deal that would see Audi enter Formula One, but he denied Red Bull had already been in formal talks with the German company, which is part of Volkswagen Group. And outside Nigeria now, Libya has criticized European Union proposal to authorize the use of force against people smuggler taking migrants across the Mediterranean to Europe. The Libyan ambassador to UN told the BBC that the European Union's intentions were unclear and very worrying. The European Union is seeking a UN mandate to allow military action to destroy or halt smugglers both in Libyan waters. The measures are a part of the European Union proposed plans to stop migrants from drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. The UN estimates that 60,000 people have already tried to cross the Mediterranean this year. More than 1,800 people are feared to have died, making the journey in 2015 a 20-fold increase on the same period in 2014. The European Commission is expected to propose the quota system in Wednesday, along with plans to increase legal means for migrants to come to Europe so that they do not turn to smugglers. and European Union Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini has pleaded for UN help to dismantle criminal groups smuggling migrants into the European Union. Libya, where many smugglers operate, has objected to the European Union proposals. More than 1,800 people are feared to have died this way in 2015, a 20-fold increase on the same period in 2014. But some 60,000 people have already tried to cross the Mediterranean Sea since this year, it said. But many of the migrants are fleeing conflict or poverty in countries such as Syria, Eritrea, Nigeria, and Somalia. And in entertainment now, In what will prove to be the next to the last concert of his tragically short life, Bob Marley shared debut at Madison Square Garden with the hugely popular American funk band, the Commodores, with no costumes, no choreography, and no set design to speak of the reggae star, which had the majority of his listeners on their feet and in the palm of his hand. Only days after his triumphant shows in New York City, Bob Marley collapsed while jogging in Central Park and later received a grim diagnosis, a cancerous growth on an old soccer injury, and his big toe had metastases and spread to Marley's brain, liver and lungs. Less than 8 months later, Bob Marley, the soul and international face of reggae music, died in Miami, Florida hospital on May 11, 1981. Today, May 11, makes it 34 years since the reggae legend died, and he was only 36 years old.
We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing another song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs.
Well, that's it. Reggae music never die for Rastafarian lovers. Well, of course, that wrap it up now on CoreTV Primetime News. But just before we go, a recap of our major headline. We told you that Chadian President Idris Deby meets Jonathan Buhari, denies knowledge of Shekau's whereabouts. We also brought to you the Transition Committee of the federal government meets with that of the incoming administration. Senate warns State Assembly lawmakers to stop acting like puppets to state governors. Thank you so much for being there tonight. I am Frank Omalapeh. Bye for now.